What is going on, everybody? My name is MaxDuper7 and welcome back to another Call of Duty Zombies video. Today, I have a little something different for you guys. In preparation for the upcoming double XP weekend, I'm going to be sharing my personal methods to grind camos and levels so you guys can get to Prestiging or get that Nebula camo you've always wanted. Make sure to watch to the end of the video for a few extra tips. We're going to start off with the camos. If you're unfamiliar with how the camo system works in Black Ops 6, I'll give you a quick rundown. As to the date I'm making this video, the current weapon layout is as follows. Normal bullet weapons, launchers, and melee, because they're all slightly different in how you achieve the camos for them. Starting with the bullet weapons, they're all pretty similar. You just get 2,000 critical kills, which are your military challenges. Next are your specialty camos, which could be anything from killing 30 parasites to 300 kills with a certain ammo mod equipped. They vary from gun to gun. Last is the mastery camos. First off is Mystic Gold, which can only be achieved after you complete all the military camos and specialty camos, which is get 10 kills rapidly 15 times. Once you get gold on every single gun, then you can get Opal, which is kill 30 special zombies, so that would be Afterlife. After that is get 20 consecutive kills 10 times without taking damage, and then finally is Nebula, which is 10 elite zombies, so that's amalgams and abominations. These will only be able to unlock, as I said, after you get all of the camos for the previous gun. I'll leave a link to the website that I use to track camos in the description below. The other two categories are pretty similar to each other. For the military, it's just 2,000 kills with both melees and launchers, which I will say right now, 2,000 kills with each launcher really sucks. It takes a long time, so you just have to be patient. This brings me on to the methods, and I want to make a disclaimer. This video won't include any glitches. Not that I have a problem with people doing them, they just aren't for me. I've never been a fan of doing them. And to add to that, while I've seen a lot of people using directed mode for camos, I wouldn't personally recommend it if you'd like to also level up in doing so, as I found the XP grind in directed mode is not as fast as the method I'm going to tell you about later in the video. There are only 4 guns I would actually recommend using directed mode for, and that being the GS45, because when you pack punch it, it becomes explosive. And getting headshots with an explosive gun, as you can imagine, would not be easy. Same thing with the LR 7.62 sniper rifle. It also becomes explosive, so same thing. And the 2 launchers, because of their lack of ammo. You can also add, if you'd like, the Frostline sniper to that. It's not necessary, but it is kind of a pain in the ass to get 2,000 headshots with a sniper. That's just my opinion. The SVD isn't too big of a problem because it does turn into that shotgun thing when you pack a punch it, so I'd do that in a normal game, but the Frostline, I would say, if you want to add a 5th gun, do it in directed. Alright, so the strategy for those is really simple. You just get to round 15 on Liberty Falls directed and keep repeating round 15 over and over and over again until you get gold. I either like to hoard in the bowling alley because spawns are fast, or if you're really feeling optimistic, you can keep the spawn room door closed and sit in the high round strategy and train them up in that little area at the bottom of the stairs. It does get pretty hectic in there, so not recommended for the faint of heart, but if you're good at training and you're on it, go for it. I want to finish this segment off by saying that you can complete every gun in directed mode. I mean, it is efficient. Personally, I just don't think it's as effective for gaining XP. Also, it is so boring. I did a couple guns on stream, just seeing how it was. Like, I did shotguns on stream, and I was there for about an hour and a half, and it's just not fun. Just run around in circles on round 15 forever, but to each their own. Now that those are out of the way, I'm going to move on to the rest of the weapons and the general leveling up. And I want to start this by saying that this isn't a proven method. It's just what I've gathered from playing both Cold War, which is very similar to this, and this game throughout both their life cycles, which I got Dark Ether in Cold War. It took me a while, but the camo grind's very similar. Before mentioning the strategies, I'm going to go over my augments that I use in a normal game in the order of how they're listed in game. Just because I do often get questions and I see people asking, like, what are the best augments to use? So these are just the ones that I use. So for perks, for stamina up, I use Free Follower and Hard Target. Quick Revive is Dying Wish and Slow Death. Jug, Probiotic and Hardened Plates. Melee Macchiato, Espresso, and Stick and Move. Speed Cola is either Supercharged or Classic Formula. I haven't really decided which one's better yet. And then Fast Pitcher for the rare augment. Vulture Aid, I use Smell of Death and Carry-On Luggage. Carry-On Luggage is a huge one. I highly recommend that if you haven't done your Voltrade augments, get carry-on luggage, because it gives you a chance to drop bonus salvage for headshots, which, I mean, that's the name of the game for this camo. It's just a big help. For PhD, I use PhD Slider and Tribolougist. Deadshot, I use Deadhead and Deadbreak. And Elemental Pop, I use Electric Cherry and Chillberry. I'm going to skip over the ammo mods just because I don't tend to use them in a normal camo grind because they don't count as critical kills. But if you do happen to join my streams, you can type exclamation mark augments, and you can see all the augments that I use even for the ammo mods. And the only thing for fuel upgrades I'm going to include is Ether Shroud, because that's honestly the only one I really use, which are Burst Dash and Extra Charge. The only thing with using Burst Dash is you just have to be careful that you don't like accidentally shroud into a wall, because it is really buggy. So I mean, if you want to avoid that, you can just use I think it's Group Shroud, which is the only other one. Don't use Void Sheath because that forces you to use your melee weapon. And Extra Charge obviously just gives you an extra Ether Shroud, so that's nice. Alright, so now I'm going to break the gameplay segments down to two parts since they are slightly different. First one is going to be the people who play with controllers, so that's either Xbox, PlayStation, or PC, and you use a controller. And for those who use mouse and keyboard, because yeah, like I said, the methods are a little bit different. So starting with controller, what you're going to want to do is take the gun that you want to complete in a loadout, I use a Semtex and a Stim. You can really use whatever you want. And Ether Shroud. Melee and gums don't really matter because you're not going to be using your melee weapon, and I honestly don't use gobblegums just in regular playthroughs. I don't think that they're really needed. And then you're going to want to load up a game of Citadel de Mort. Once you're in the game, I like Rampage Inducer on immediately because that speeds up the rounds. You only really need it till about round 7, but I usually don't turn it off till about round 15. It's just getting the spawns faster in the early game. It just flips around a lot faster. Spend the first few rounds spamming headshots until you get about 3,500 essence, which I found is about round 3 or 4. Once you get there, open the left door that goes up to the stables and go by Deadshot, and then come back to spawn. This is where the controller players get the edge because Deadshot will always auto-aim to the head, which means about 90% of your kills will be headshots, making this challenge substantially easier. And the headshot multiplier from Deadshot also means you're going to be doing more damage. Once you buy Deadshot, go back to spawn, like I said. Keep progressing while upgrading your armor to tier 2 and weapons as you gain the means to. Once you get the second bug round, which is typically like round 11, make your way up to the castle and open the main gate with the cannon. Proceed towards Pack-a-Punch, and depending on your drop luck, you should have about 15 to 20,000 essence at this point, which should be enough to open up the entire map that you need and buy some perks. On the way to Pack-a-Punch, I like to grab Voltrade and Quick Revive. You can grab Jug if you feel like you need it, but honestly, with the armor system in this game, tier 2 armor should be all that you need. After you Pack-a-Punch, I take the sewer back. There's a little fast travel you can take from the basement, which takes you right back to spawn. Super fast for moving through the map. And then I resume training. I play a few more rounds, and then once I have a bit more points saved up, I go and get the other perks I want. Honestly, the perks that you need, or that I would recommend, would be Quick Revive, Deadshot, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, Jug, and Voltrade. Melee Macchiato isn't useful just because you're not using your melee and you don't get the swords. And Elemental Pop I would completely avoid just because it actually will take away your kills. Even though Electric Cherry is nice, it's not really worth it. Keep playing rounds, only leaving spawn to Pack-a-Punch or upgrade your armor. I like to do everything in 1 or 2 trips, so I grab armor when I go Pack-a-Punch, as leaving the spawn slows down spawns dramatically. Play the game until round 31, then exfil. By then, you should have either picked up a free mutant injection dropped from one of the mini bosses, or have enough salvage to craft your own. Either way, just make sure you have one. It makes exfilling a whole lot easier. Activate the exfil and go to the exfil site. Use your injection. You can get some headshots too in the beginning, but I typically like to have my mutant injection used by about 45 seconds left. That gives you more than enough time to kill everything, and accounts for any like glitched or stuck zombies, because I've had that happen a couple times. That's pretty much it for the game. You just rinse and repeat that until you get all your guns, and depending on what weapons you're using, like each gun should take about 3 to 4 guns to finish, like to get gold fully. Pistols and SMGs would probably take you a little bit more just because of how weak they are. But typically what I found is 3 to 4 guns. Or, 3 to 4 games. Before I move on, I have 2 things to say. First thing, thank you to everybody for the support recently on the streams and videos. I really appreciate it. We had a couple streams recently like blow up, and it's just been awesome and unbelievable. If you guys are new and enjoying the content, click the subscribe button and share this with someone who could use the help on the grind. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year, so everything helps. Secondly, all of the methods in this video are subjective and what I found to be the most efficient. You can play and only implement some of my methods. It's really up to you guys. For instance, if you can only play with the inducer on, say, the first 3 rounds and then it starts to get too hectic, you can turn it off. Or if you want to play higher than 31, go for it. The only reason I say exfil at 31 is because most of the guns really start to fall off at that point, and you're honestly not getting as many headshots because the zombies are running so fast to you and you just don't have time to get headshots. Also, your XP per hour that you gain for your levels diminishes drastically after 31 because you're not progressing through the rounds as fast, and it's just more efficient to start another game and grind back up to 31 because the high round XP falls off drastically in this game, and it's just not really worth it. A great example of this is in a recent stream. I went from round 1 to round 106 in the first room, which you should check out, by the way. Links in the description. And I only gained 5 levels. Granted, it was the last 5 levels of the Prestige, but that's still kind of ridiculous how much XP falls off later in the game. Next, I'm going to address all the mouse and keyboard players. I'm someone who plays both, but I use a controller for the camo grind. However, in a casual playthrough, I definitely prefer mouse and keyboard. For you guys, it's super simple. The beginning is the same. Choose the gun you want to work on, and the only real difference is instead, you guys are going to be playing Liberty Falls because I find the spawns are faster, and since you guys don't get the benefits of Deadshot, you don't have to worry about the round 25 issue. When you spawn in, turn on the Rampage Inducer, and I personally like to leave it on either the whole game or until about round 25. It just helps roll the rounds so much faster. Like, your time between rounds is significantly reduced with the Rampage Inducer on, but it's just a personal preference. I actually timed this, and with Inducer on, granted I was using the ASG, I got a time of about 36 minutes to get to round 31, which I would say isn't too bad, and that I got about 1,000 headshots in that game. Stay in the spawn until the second bug round, and then go pack-a-punch. On your way into the church, shoot the top of the steeple and grab the rare ether tool, then grab your pack-a-punch. Grab tier 2 armor, quick revive, stamina up, and speed cola, and PhD if you happen to have enough essence for it. It's just nice to have the slide mobility for training. I like to hoard over by speed cola personally, because it's a nice open area with balanced spawns. Also, another thing you can do is you can complete the SAM trials as they become available because they offer a chance to get free pack-a-punch, free perks, free weapon rarity upgrades, just anything that you would need and benefit you. You also can open the bank up, but I don't tend to just because we're going for speed here. Upgrade your guns and eventually buy Jug, or you can buy Jug earlier in the game. As I mentioned in the previous method, it's whenever you want to buy Jug or feel it's necessary. I personally don't buy Jug to my last perk, just because the armor system is so overpowered in this game. Once you hit round 31, same as the other game, exfil and use either an injection you pick up or craft one. It's just that simple. Just like the controller method, you can do everything or you can put your own spin on it. This is just what I recommend to play as efficiently as possible. To end the video, I wanted to add a few other bonus things that don't often get talked about, but I think they're really important. First, with XP management, I don't know about you guys, but when I grind levels, I like to play as efficiently as possible, meaning no XP gets wasted. For instance, I won't start a game if I'm max level, because to me, that XP is just going to waste. For example, like I said, if you're at level 55, but you can't proceed yet, so you're at 55, but you haven't completed the level, I like to play a couple games of multiplayer just to get that last little bit of XP you need to prestige. Then after you prestige back to level 1, go back into zombies and begin your grind again. I'm not even that great at multiplayer, but I do play the odd game or two just to level up because I do find it is faster if you need to get those last few levels. Next tip is abuse your double XP tokens. If you know you're going to have an hour or two, say interrupted playtime, use one of your hour XP tokens because I find those ones never get used and you get the most of them. This is something that I didn't do in Cold War and regret as I just thought, oh, what if I'm ever going to want to use them one day, but I never did. While these are activated, try and get as many camos or calling cards done as possible, as they give good XP, and the double XP bonus is... Last tip I have for XP management is to complete your daily challenges. They're usually pretty easy and give great XP. If you can do them with a token active, that's even better. This is just a preference thing. This carries no weight at all. But definitely something that helped me stay motivated in this game was getting your annoying guns out of the way first. And I know this sounds weird and arbitrary, but it does definitely help. When I played Cold War, for example, I did snipers last and hated it. I dreaded doing it. It took me so long. I just didn't want to play the game anymore. Versus playing BO6, I got them right out of the way first. That was the first set of guns I got gold. And now I don't have to worry about them. I got rid of all of the boring stuff first. I started with snipers, and then I did some of pistols. I got my shotguns done, and then I gave myself a little break with assault rifles. Then did launchers, and now I'm working on SMGs. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I really hope this helps you guys on your grind, and if you have any suggestions or any things I may have missed, make sure to leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Like I said, I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So also, let me know if you guys want more content like this in the future. I hope everyone has a great day and happy holidays. Once again, I stream most days, 8 p.m. AST. But enough from me. I'll see you guys in the next one.